Hey there, folks. We don't know if you've heard the news, but Yellowstone is far from over. What do we mean? Well, it appears Taylor Sheridan has a shocking surprise to keep the show running. What kind of wild twist are we talking about? Oh, trust us, you're gonna want to hear this. Let's break it all down. The end of an era. Season 5's dramatic conclusion. Yellowstone Season 5 was, hands down, the most drama-filled, jaw-dropping season yet. It had us hitting rewind just to make sure we weren't missing any of the chaos. And if you're not fully caught up with the Yellowstone universe, spoiler alert, Season 5 had us saying goodbye to not one, but two Dutton family members. First, there was the bombshell news that Kevin Costner was out, which led to Taylor Sheridan officially killing off John Dutton. Yeah, this wasn't just some wild internet rumor. John's fate was sealed, and fans lost it. But if you thought that was the peak of the madness, think again. A few episodes later, Beth and Rip made sure Jamie's time was up too. Now, let's be real. Jamie was never the lovable brother, and he had his fair share of unhinged moments. But still, watching him go, it hit different. Maybe it's because we spent 5 seasons with him, or maybe it's just attachment issues. But his exit left us feeling some kind of way. And here's where things get really interesting. Beth went full revenge mode on Jamie because she believed he had a hand in their father's death. And technically, she wasn't wrong. But it got fans thinking, was this always the plan? Or was Jamie's fate just another side effect of the behind-the-scenes drama between Costner and Sheridan? If Kevin had stayed, would we have gotten a completely different storyline? Either way, Season 5 Part 2 left us with a whole lot to process. But before we could even catch our breath, the internet exploded with a whole new debate. What's next for Yellowstone? Season 6? Or are we just fooling ourselves? Okay, now let's get into the rumors, because there were plenty. For a while, whispers of Yellowstone Season 6 had fans absolutely losing their minds. Could they really pull it off? Would the show even work without some of its most pivotal characters? Honestly, it seemed like a long shot, but not impossible. The real question was, what would Season 6 even be about? Because let's be real, fans couldn't just sit in Delulu land and pretend a brand new season would magically come together after the deaths of 2 of the most core characters in the series. Like, what would the storyline even be? More land feuds? More political drama? At some point, there's only so much backstabbing the Duttons can do before Montana collectively sighs and hands them the whole state. But before the internet could spiral any further, another bombshell hit. A spin-off! And if that wasn't enough to shake things up, what really shut down Season 6 rumors? The news that Yellowstone was getting a sequel, starring none other than Matthew McConaughey. And let's be real, if McConaughey was stepping in, it sounded a lot like passing of the torch moment. Except, plot twist, nothing ever goes to plan, and McConaughey, he ended up dropping out of the project. So what now? Well, here's where things get really juicy. After McConaughey stepped away, Paramount started eyeing some of Yellowstone's OGs, specifically Beth and Rip, for a comeback. And honestly, that might just be the most chaotic yet perfect choice for a spin-off. Think about it. Beth and Rip were made for this kind of storyline. Their chemistry, unmatched. Their ability to create absolute chaos, elite. And if we jump back to the Yellowstone Season 5 finale, their revenge mission against Jamie was chef's kiss. Brutal, dramatic, and totally them. And especially now, with Beth and Rip having their own new ranch in Dillon, Montana, the possibilities for a fresh storyline are endless. Beth and Rip spinoff confirmed? Even though we don't have an official confirmation yet from Paramount about the Yellowstone spinoff starring Beth and Rip, the stars themselves are dropping hints that are making fans go wild. And let's be real, if Kelly Riley, aka Beth Dutton, says something, we're definitely listening. After Yellowstone's season, or shall we say, series finale, Riley took to Instagram to reflect on the show's journey, sharing a heartfelt message about the past 7 years. But what really set the fandom on fire was what happened next. When a fan directly asked her if the rumors about a Beth and Rip spinoff were true, she didn't hesitate. She simply replied with, true alongside a white heart. No dodging the question, no vague PR-friendly answer, just a straight-up true, which we're obviously taking as a yes. Let's be real, that's as close to confirmation as we can get without an official press release. And honestly, we'll take it. If Beth and Rip really are coming back for their own show, then it's only a matter of time before we get more details. Until then, we'll just be here, over-analyzing every social media post and desperately waiting for more clues. Because let's face it, if Yellowstone is ending, we're going to need our fix of drama. And no one brings it better than Beth and Rip. But Beth and Rip aren't the only ones expanding the Yellowstone universe. If there's one person who seems even busier than the Duttons themselves, it's Taylor Sheridan. Taylor Sheridan, creative genius or Yellowstone overload. Honestly, at this point, Taylor Sheridan seems like maybe the busiest man in Hollywood. He's created a whole universe from one series, and frankly speaking, it's starting to feel like he won't stop until every square inch of the Wild West has its own spin-off. First, we got 1883, then 1923, and now 1944 is on the way. And just when you thought he might take a breather, there are rumors about a new show called The Madison with Michelle Pfeiffer. At this point, it's like Sheridan saw Yellowstone blow up and said, "All right, saddle up, we're making this a whole empire." Now, don't get me wrong, we're all here for some cowboy drama. The grit, the intense stares, the inevitable land disputes. It's the stuff of TV gold. But with so many projects in the pipeline, some fans are starting to wonder, is Sheridan spreading the Yellowstone magic a bit too thin? Let's break it down. 1883 threw us straight into the brutal, heartbreaking journey of the first Duttons making their way to Montana, full of grit, tragedy, and a whole lot of harsh realities. Then came 1923, where we got a front-row seat to the family's fight for survival through the Great Depression, Prohibition, and enough drama to fill a dozen history books. Both series expanded the Yellowstone lore, but they also set a high bar for storytelling. With 1944 on the horizon, fans are curious if this new installment will maintain the same depth or if it's just another notch in Sheridan's creative belt. And it's not just the Yellowstone prequels. Sheridan's juggling more projects than a cowboy at a rodeo. Mayor of Kingstown, Tulsa King, Lioness, and who knows what else he's got up his sleeve. The man's a storytelling powerhouse, but even the best machines need a tune-up now and then. There's a growing concern that the quality of these shows might suffer due to the sheer volume of content being produced. And now, with the Beth and Rip spinoff allegedly in the works, we've got to ask, how much bigger can the Yellowstone universe really get before it starts feeling like too much? Don't get us wrong, if any couple deserves their own show, it's Beth and Rip. Their love story has been the heart and soul of Yellowstone, and let's be real, if anyone's earned a series where they ride off into the sunset and stir up chaos in a brand new town, it's them. But will this spinoff have the same magic Yellowstone had? Or will it feel like just another extension of a franchise that's already got too many moving parts? Yellowstone worked because it was gritty, raw, and full of power struggles that kept us glued to our screens. If Beth and Rip get their own show, what will the stakes be? Will it feel like a natural continuation of their story, or just another way to keep Yellowstone alive even after the flagship show has ended? Sheridan has built a TV empire, and no one can deny he knows how to tell a gripping story. But with all these projects coming at us full speed, fans can't help but wonder, are we still getting Yellowstone, or are we just getting Yellowstone, the franchise? But folks, one thing's for sure, Yellowstone's story is still far from over, whether it's spin-offs, sequels, or shocking twists. Taylor Sheridan isn't done yet. And hey, want more drama-filled updates? Well then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.